Hey there, guys. All right, today we are back with some more History Matters, and this time we are talking about why didn't Alexander the Great conquer Rome? And does he have his own face on his shirt, on his chest there? That's what weird. Anyways, before we dive in, make sure you go and check out the links in the description box below. Would love to join the Discord and follow me over Twitch, and please do go check out the gaming channels here on YouTube. Now, why didn't Alexander the Great conquer Rome? Because, well, at least as far as I'm aware, by this point in time, at least until, well, actually, by the time Alexander died, I think Rome was actually, the Italian peninsula was actually starting to become something. But, like, during Philip's time and Alexander's time, I believe Rome and the Italian peninsula were kind of just backwater. There really wasn't much there of worth, like, all the money was in the East. India, China, the Achaemenid Empire, right? West, you would have, like in Spain, you had mines. You had some important mines in Spain. In Gaul, probably wood and good land for harvesting. But also, Alexander had Egypt. He didn't need Gaul for that. Um, and then Britain didn't really have shit. Anyways, let's hear what History Matters has to say about this question.
Alexander the Great is most famous for his conquests,
Ugh,
and also naming cities after himself.
never heard of him.
But a common question surrounding his empire building is why did he go east and never consider going west and say conquering Rome? So to begin, we have to look at Greece in the 4th century BC, which at this point was a mess of city-states, petty kingdoms and shifting alliances. To the north sat the kingdom of Macedon, which was ruled by Philip II. Philip had expanded his kingdom to the south, which was seen as a threat by Athens. The Athenians built an alliance to check Philip's growing power, and before long, war. Long story short, Macedonia won and subjugated the rest of Greece. Except for Sparta, that is, which was just there being difficult. Philip's next move was to get revenge on Persia for its previous expedition into Greece, and so he and his new allies started to prepare. Unfortunately for Philip, before this could happen, it was time to get stabbed to death. Alexander
As what happens when you are a leader of a nation.
III succeeded him and, like his father, wanted to expand his kingdom, but going west to Rome wasn't really an option at this point. The first reason was that his father had promised to attack Persia, which was a unifying force in Greece. And if Alexander wanted to keep them on board, it was important to keep this promise. Furthermore, Alexander likely knew very little, if anything, about Rome at this point. It wasn't a regional power and only held this much territory, and neither it nor its neighbours were really worth an expedition. And with that, Alexander was off to
Like I said, they just weren't worth it.
attack Persia, which he did in 334 BC. The Macedonians did well, and Alexander defeated the Persian Shah Darius and took all of this land, thereby becoming Alexander the OK. He then moved south into Egypt,
Alexander
which he
the
soon
Mid.
conquered, and this allowed him to found the city of Alexandria and also proclaim himself pharaoh. Alexander the Pretty Good then advanced towards the Persian capital and defeated Darius again before taking it. Darius fled but was soon murdered by his own men, and Alexander took the title of King of Persia as well, thereby becoming Alexander the Notable. So with Persia defeated, surely Alexander was free to return to Macedon and turn his attention elsewhere. Well, no. Even with Darius gone, Alexander still had to pacify the rest of Persia. Now, he'd previously written of his intent to conquer
Dear Carthage, I am going to end you, your friend Alexandros III.
places like Carthage,
Huh.
and it's likely that he wouldn't have shied away from taking whatever else was in his way. But again, there's no evidence he knew anything of Rome. In fact, the Greeks had minimal contact with Rome and wouldn't have cared much until Rome's conquest of these Greek cities in the south of Italy, which happened about 50 years after Alexander died. So anyway, Alexander wasn't able to return to Macedon because one of Darius's generals had declared himself king, and Alexander couldn't tolerate a rival. Alexander spent the next 6 years putting down revolts across Persia, and after his realm was mostly secure, he went westward to Babylon. It was here that he decided he was going to conquer the afterlife, which meant going westward was impossible and Rome was safe in its cradle. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Let's hear that end again.
Tolerate a rival. Alexander spent the next 6 years putting down revolts across Persia, and after his realm was mostly secure, he went westward to Babylon. It was here that he decided he was going to conquer the afterlife, which meant going
It was here he decided to go and conquer the afterlife. I love that.
westward was impossible and Rome was safe in its cradle. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
This was Why Didn't Alexander the Great Conquer Rome? A short animated documentary. He got distracted and decided to go and conquer the afterlife, I guess. This was a great episode. Not like it was one of the ones that had a good bit of information, but it wasn't necessarily stuffed with context and stuff. like some other History Matters videos. So this one I would rank as good, but not great. Perhaps even maybe a little notable, but not great. Um, but yeah, don't really have anything to add here at the end. I would say I was mostly correct at the beginning there with my guess. It's just Rome wasn't worth it, really. Like even then at the end, his beef would have been with the trading empire that is the Carthaginians, who were ruling from North Africa and had a large chunk of Spain, right, and Sicily. Um, that isn't necessarily going to. I mean, is it likely that knowing what kind of conqueror that Alexander the Great was, would he have probably just also decided to conquer the Italian peninsula along the way at getting revenge or whatever against Carthage, whatever his beef was with them? Yeah, probably. But um, they would have just been like another stop on the road. They wouldn't have really been anything of import. So yeah, that was why Alexander the Great did not conquer Rome. Short animated documentary by History Matters. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.